What is up, my friends? What an episode. Congratulations to Wanda on her two new children, Billy and Tommy. But let's talk about that ending and what everything means right now. So, before we get into the episode itself, I want to go ahead and ask you to subscribe to the channel. We are on the road to 18,000 subscribers. Hopefully, we can get there before the end of the month. But anyways, back to the episode. So in the previous episode, we had seen Wanda become pregnant, and then everything came to be in color, and we already know something's off, right? We have been getting the signs. Wanda knows something's off, and I'm pretty sure she's the one doing all of this, but I think she's also being influenced to sort of put on this whole like fantasy land or whatever you want to call it. Now, the big question is, who is this person doing this? Now, as I said in my previous video, I believe it's going to be Agnes. Agnes is going to be the one behind this, but I also think Mephisto is lurking somewhere around. And I think that's what's definitely going to tie us from WandaVision into Doctor Strange 2, where we're going to have Wanda appear as well. Now, during this episode, as I said, we had Wanda be pregnant, and then she ultimately became like pregnant, went into her third trimester, and even went into labor. And Geraldine was actually there, who we got to know in the previous episode, helping her throughout all of this as Vision tried to get the doctor as fast as possible. But of course, he didn't make it worth in time. And so what we see happen after this is, now that the children are born, we see Vision go out to take the doctor back and thank him for everything, and Geraldine and Wanda are left alone. Now, during this conversation, Wanda does tell her that she is in fact a twin herself, and that her brother Pietro was her twin. Now, one thing that does happen during this conversation is Geraldine, for some reason, just sort of like blanks out, and she's like, "Your brother Pietro, he was killed by Ultron, right?" Wanda just like freezes. Like, Elizabeth Olsen's like facial expressions were on point with this scene right here, and you were like, damn, why did you say that? And so she starts to sort of be like, who are you? How do you know this? Why did you say this? And Geraldine still tries to play it cool, like she didn't say nothing, but Wanda's onto her, and she's like, no, why would you say something like this? While all of this is happening in the home, Vision sort of overhears Agnes and his neighbor talking about somebody, and he's sort of like, what's going on? Because in the beginning of the episode, Vision was sort of like, something's not right here, but Wanda of course changed that back and rewinded, if you will, till he said the right things to stay in this reality. And so they're just like, we don't know about Geraldine, we can't sort of trust her or anything like that, you know? And now Vision's sort of like, yeah, I feel like I know what you're saying, right? But I still don't trust anybody here, and I'm really confused right now. So he goes back in to check up on Wanda and Geraldine, but Geraldine's gone now. Now, before this happened, what we saw was Wanda asking Geraldine about a pendant she had, and that pendant had a symbol, and she's like, what is that symbol? You have to tell me what that is. We never hear Geraldine say what it is, but I'm here to tell you, that's Sword. Now, we've already talked about Sword in the previous Ending Explained. I will be making a video on Sword this weekend for sure. I said I was going to come out this week, but got really busy with stuff. But this weekend it's coming out, so make sure you tune in for that. But C has a symbol, and it's a sword symbol. Now, I think Wanda sort of like has a theory on what's going on with Geraldine, all of this, and she's not going to have it. So she pretty much makes her go away, as we see when Vision comes back in the house, nowhere to be found. And then we cut to Geraldine being thrown out of like a dimension of sorts, out of the sky, and into this field where there's like a lot of soldiers or whatever you want to call it. And in the back, we can see that there is this big like massive like light show going on that's surrounded by fences and all of that. And I believe that is the sitcom reality that we see Wanda in with Vision and everybody else. So what is going on here? Well, as I said in my previous video, Sword is sort of trying to, I think, save Wanda and find out what's going on, and they pretty much are trying to do this in the most subtle way they can, and that's by infiltrating her vision, her reality that she's made now, to sort of cope with the trauma of Vision dying in Endgame, Infinity War, all that. and just be like, Wanda, you can't keep going on like this. And I think what Wanda is also doing is disrupting realities with this whole different reality. And I think that's where the multiverse is going to come into play. I think Agnes and Mephisto are sort of egging this on because they're trying to sort of get these realities opened, these portals, whatever it is. And so I think we're going to learn more about that pretty soon. Now, Geraldine, who is she? I'll be making a more thorough video on this as well this weekend, but she is basically Monica Rambeau from Captain Marvel. Now, Captain Marvel took place in 1995. WandaVision is taking place in the present day, so that is why Monica is an adult. As I've said already, she did have that pendant for S.W.O.R.D., so we're pretty positive that she is working for S.W.O.R.D. and sort of trying to work all of this out. We also do know that Monica will be appearing in Captain Marvel 2, and so that's just us, like, this is going to definitely set the path towards Captain Marvel 2, and I really do think that WandaVision is going to set the tone for the rest of the phase. Like, what happens here will be the reason that we see everything in the next phase, as Spider-Man has already said that it will be exploring all of that with Doc Ock, Electro, and all of the other Spider-Mans that are supposed to have appearances. So I'm very excited to see what's going to happen. I'll be making a video on S.W.O.R.D. I'll be making a video on Monica this weekend, so make sure you tune for that. And just some more theories, because I mean, we know at this point Wanda's controlling this, and she's trying to make it as best as she can. Do we know that if she's the only one acting alone on this? Is she being influenced, manipulated as well? That's something I still think we have to get answers to, and it's looking like Agnes is going to be a prime suspect in this, so very excited to see when we get that episode. But overall, I did enjoy this episode. Definitely took much more of a turn than I was expecting, but I am loving how the show is balancing the sitcom, the thriller mystery, and still a Marvel show as well. So very much so excited to see what's coming up next on WandaVision. Let me know your thoughts on it below. We have a Servant episode, Ending Explained, coming out today as well. By the time you're watching this video, it might have been out, so make sure you're subscribed for that. We cover all the stuff you love in pop culture. I will be making tons and tons of more videos pretty soon, so make sure you subscribe. Let's get to 18,000 subscribers. We're less than 300 away, so I'm pretty pumped about that. Anyways, as always, make sure you hit that bell up there so you know when a video drops, because YouTube likes to be a little bit funny. And don't forget to subscribe as well so you know when every video drops, so you don't want to miss any of that. But as always, let me know your theories down below about Geraldine, what's going on with Wanda, who is the main villain here. I'm telling you, Agnes, Mephisto, we're going to see that pretty soon. So anyways, I'll see you all next time. As always, stay safe, stay positive.